おはようございます。
おはよ
こちらは私の日本語の生徒です。I'm here with a student and I want to ask you how was your experience learning Japanese with the Project Japan? How do you feel? Was Japanese hard to learn? Was it easier to learn than you previously thought it would be? How would you?
Yeah, I think that previously, before I was able to use this book, I was looking at like a bunch of other books to start Japanese, and I was not comfortable with them because I found them to be really hard to start with. The way that this book works is that there is like explanations like right at the beginning. Mine is in English, but it also comes in Portuguese. And the fact that it started in my own language and was not in Japanese right from the beginning made it really accessible for me, because when I looked at the other textbooks, it seemed impossible to start with just Japanese.
Yeah.
And this made it so much easier to start, that I could go from the beginning and to each page learning something new, where it felt like I could do it both with a teacher and without the teacher, but the other books felt I could only do them with a teacher. So in this sense, it was very useful.
Any book there that you can show us? Any Japanese book that
Another Japanese book? Well, I didn't buy those ones because I was in the store and I had them looking at them, and I didn't buy those ones. But they were similar because like this one is for JLPT N5. And the other textbooks I was looking at were also like designed around the test. But the approach is a bit different, because with this book, where the focus is on the test for the structure of the questions and the structure of the book, the language that you learn is more conversational. It's more like normal Japanese than like learning like sentences in a class, which might not be very real. And so that's like another. Yes. Yeah, I feel like I can like access more normal Japanese than I would have expected when I first started the class, if that makes sense.
Which part did you have more problems on learning Japanese? Maybe the vocabulary, the particles, or the way to actually pronounce the words?
Yeah, for me personally, just the alphabet. And the nice thing about learning with this book is that the harder parts of the alphabet come later, whereas with other instructionals that I was looking at, you learn like katakana first. But with this process, it's more gradually introduced, and I still find some of the alphabet difficult just because there's so much alphabet and kanji to go with Japanese, and it will be something I work on the whole time. But that's something that can be memorized, whereas the things like grammar that you need to learn, I think I have learned very well from your textbook.
Oh, thank you. Is there any specific part in the book that you felt like, oh, now I feel like I mastered it. Now I feel like I got it.
Yeah, when doing these, when first doing those sentences that come later, where I had to, maybe I can show one where I don't have,
yeah, sure.
Well, I have all my notes on them, where like I had to fill in the particles myself. I really felt that was like a really high level like test. Unfortunately, like I have like writing all over them, but yeah, these ones were to fill in the particle on my own. That felt like really like being really close to Japanese and thinking about it really closely.
I think this is one of the only books that has that exercise to fill the particles, like with 5 up to 4 or 5 particles.
Yes.
Book only go for one particle, and they don't really make you think about it. They just go and, hey, which is the right particle? Like, is this the action particle, or to use this in object? But it's just one. They don't really make you think about
to see a sentence with half the words missing, and then to be able to fill it in myself, I think is the really surprising part, because it's like, it seems impossible at first, but it kind of has come naturally now, which is exciting.
Yeah, that's very interesting. And how would you rank your adventure with this book, like 1 to 10?
Yeah, I would definitely give it like a 9, just because I know the next book is coming, and it just seems like there's even more. Like I honestly was very surprised by this book. Like the level of detail in like some of the design also that you get on it is really interesting. Plus also the fact that it's very detailed inside. But yeah, now that I know that you have like another book coming that's even more in your style of teaching, I'm pretty excited for to see where it goes. Because this is the first foundation, and I know that you can't really do all the super interesting things at first because we're just starting, and once it gets further, there's more to do. Yeah.
I'm really also looking forward to it, and maybe could do another video once like you are maybe in 100 or 200 pages of the new book, and then you can compare yourself on how you were speaking Japanese back then and how you're going to be speaking Japanese after. And it's going to be really exciting for me as a teacher to be teaching with that book, because there's a lot of surprises that I'm keeping on in that book. Then the history and the animations, the pictures, is going to be way more detailed than this one. And I think one of the most hard things for me as a book writer, and I look at this and see this a masterpiece, like I really did a good job on this one, then how I'm going to do even better on the next one, how I'm going to pass that one. That was the
Well, I think yeah, that's why I'm excited to see it. Yeah, I definitely recommend this to people who are English speakers like myself, that maybe they would want to, like, if they, just because like English isn't your first language, it never has been an issue for me. Like it doesn't even something that I think about when we're doing the class.
Oh, that's nice.
Because it just comes really naturally. Yeah, and so if other people from America are like considering it, I would definitely say it's super accessible. And the main thing is like that your Japanese accent is very good, and then that's come over to me as well, and it doesn't. That's the main thing that I'm interested in, and it's like exciting to also learn Portuguese along the way if I get to add some extra things as well.
One more question, since you thought about my English. Is my English okay? Did I was able on the classes to answer all of your questions, or it was that?
Yes, I think the fact that I have like really advanced questions as like a student, I like to ask really deep linguistic questions, and you've never missed one. Like every single question you have an answer for, and like there's no stumping you, which is great. And I feel like that I can like speak to someone who has a mastery of what is going on, and that English creates no difference. It's like, you're Japanese, and that's where it matters. And I've never had any moment where it's conflicted with understanding.
I see. I'm really happy to have such a good student as you, and I want to congratulate you as well for being so good at the book. And I can see that you can make your own sentences, like you can put the sentences together faster than any other student that I had so far. Like especially on the left.
Yeah, this is something like I think everybody, like, they see Japanese and they, like, as a kid or something, they want to learn it. And it's just like there isn't a lot of options that seem like fun. Like they all seem like work, and like this is fun. And your next book, like, really is focused on a lot of fun activities as well. And I think that's kind of also what brings me into it, because, like I said, the sentences are more daily life, and it just feels more more fun to do than like just a class like that's more memorization
space. I see.
Yes.
Yeah, you can totally bet on it. That is going to be a lot of fun in the book. Like you're gonna have music on the QR codes. You have some stuff. You have some exercise that you have to listen and then put the answer. and there's a very complex history that you're going to be so on it. Like you really want to go to see. Oh, we have to see what's going to happen on the next page, but you have to know the vocabulary as well. So it will be hard to do it by yourself. You have to wait the next class to find out. Like you watching the really good series and you want to know, geez, I have to know what's going to happen next. So that's why I tried to put
Yeah, and I think
the next book.